I never have sound or the microphone on at the beginning of the stream. You don't need to. Who are all these absolute noob scrubs in the chat mentioning that there's no sound? Come on, there's never sound at the beginning of the stream. It's like literally every single goddarn week there's no sound for the first like 5 minutes or so. I know because I sit and I edit these archives all the time. There's always no sound. There's never been sound at the beginning of the streams. Come on. Anyway, hello and welcome back to Video Games. I'm Tim Rogers. You're watching Action Button live on the Action Button Goblin Bunker Network at twitch.tv/actionbutton. I don't really have too much time to do this today. Though I have streamed every Friday this year so far, so I figure why not. It's my first Coca-Cola of the day. That's exciting. I don't have too much of a plan. The Mimsy's not here. She's at her mom's house. Literally. Not figuratively, not any kind of a joke. She's literally at her mom's house. She's literally at her mom's house. It's just, I got actually several emails and messages today, just today alone, from people offering me advice about my Twitch channel. People offering me advice. So that's why I was a little upset to come in here and see people saying, "Oh, there's no sound. Oh, do you know your microphone's turned off? Did you know your microphone's turned off?" It's like, yeah, I know. I mean, come on. I wait for people to be in the chat before I start. So I was just a little like, I got so many people today, not just, this week, for some reason it's ramped up all of a sudden. I get all this advice from people. I would say the better you think your advice is, the more you should be willing to charge for it. Which means you should be giving advice as a job. In other words, not giving it for free. And unsolicited advice is a particular type of free advice. I'm not calling out anybody I'm not calling out anybody who said anything publicly. I'm calling out the several people who said things privately to me this week. And I mean, it was just the whole spectrum of tidbits and tips that people tend to give me about my Twitch channel. What are you doing over there? The dog is up on the window ledge trying to... Look at him. Oh wait, wrong button. Look at him! He's up on the arm of the sofa. He's not going to get up there. You're not going to get up on that windowsill, buddy. Come on back over. He's over. He came back. Just the full spectrum of tips that people tend to give when it comes to this particular job of mine. People get really mad when it's usually like the same three Patreon backers get mad when I mention anything tedious, difficult, or technical about my job in public. And they send me long, scary messages, and I kind of wish that those three guys would go away, because they're really weird, and I really don't want their money, and if they would just message me their PayPal email address, I would give them a full refund of their $3. Though it's... I get a lot of advice. What was I talking about? I get a lot of advice from people. Everybody on the internet's giving everybody advice all the time. Unsolicited advice is free advice. And free advice is nobody wants it. Nobody wants advice they don't have to pay for, I think, in this world. Right? I'm talking out of my hat here. I don't know. I'm not even wearing a hat. People are like, you should post a schedule on your Twitch channel. Oh, have you considered putting the name of the video game in the Twitch? I noticed that you use the just chatting category every time. It's like, man. The comments I get about my YouTube videos as well, I get the most absolutely... I mean, well-meaning, of course, though there comes a time in a man's life when he has to stop giving people credit for well-meaning, for meaning well. Meaning well, it's one thing. If you say something that offends me, but you mean well, am I not offended? Yes, I am, right? First of all, this is basic math here. Just get a lot of people offering me well-meaning free advice. You shouldn't call your videos reviews. You should call them something else. You should make I have had so many people tell me to give my video titles a full sentence. Like, so many people about this Boku no Natsugasme video are like, you could get more eyes on this video, someone told me, if you just took the bottom line and made that the title of the video. Like, no. Nobody would click on that. That would sound freakish. That would sound completely freakish. The bottom line you all know what the bottom line at the end of the Boku no Natsugasme video is. I got a guy telling me that. I get people telling me, someone was like, I know you might not like this idea. Like, first of all, if you're leading your advice with, I know you won't like this idea, but, maybe just close the tab, Jerry. Control W, I would say, is what I would say. I know you won't like this idea, but have you ever considered making more conventional YouTube thumbnails? right? Like, I get that advice all the time. You want to make more conventional YouTube thumbnails, me going with the game next to me, or me going with a picture of Superman 64 or whatever. The terrible video game, worst game ever, ? I made fun of those thumbnails a tiny bit when I worked at Kotaku.com in the thumbnails I did for them. Most common advice I get is, have you ever considered posting videos more like the ones you posted at Kotaku.com? Which is a mind bender. No. Me get paid big time to make these kinds of videos now. Not those. I'm not going to make no 5-minute video about a game I don't want to play anymore. Like, why would I do that? Engagement? I don't understand any of that. In which a big boy encounters a barrel bottom. Yeah. So that, my E3 2019 with the energy drinks, that was it was a parody, a little bit too ornamental of that type of thumbnail that I don't think it read. It kind of transcended the parody, I think. I think it transcended the parody. Anyway, yeah, I get a lot of advice from people who it's fun, actually. It's fun to think about, not necessarily fun to open your email inbox hoping that your health insurance has replied to a particular thing, and instead you've got like 12 emails and people found your personal email address to let you know you should make more conventional YouTube thumbnails. It's like, no, I don't have to. When you see these god darn videos that are coming out, that are coming down the pipe, if you have any advice on how to make this next video better, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you that. You are 100% objectively wrong if you have any advice for making the next video better, is what I'm guaranteeing you here. Just, not to spoil too much. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's just part of my job, is getting lots and lots and lots and lots of unsolicited advice. They say the more successful you are, the more unsolicited bad advice you get. I guess. So I should note this as never as a joke send me bad unsolicited advice as a joke. Please don't do that. If you want to send me an email to say you like my videos, go ahead. I read those and I actually enjoy them. So, did my screen just go dark? My screen just went dark. If you want to send me an email like that, that's fine. I won't get mad. You don't have to, if you want to send me an email to say hi and you feel like you have to instead make a joke about giving me bad advice, that just makes me sad because I don't know you. I feel like I have to reiterate this a little too often. I don't know you. We could know each other, get it started, a little bit more kindly and gently, I suppose. What was I talking about? There's this little dog wants to get down. Hang on, buddy. Come on, Punch. Come on, Punch. Hang on. Watch it, little guy. Come on. It's a fully grown 3-pound dog. He's a living cartoon character. What am I talking about? Once upon a time they'd say it's better to be loved or better to be feared than loved or whatever. At another point in time they would have said haters is a sign of success. Now it's the I got through the haters phase and now it's the well-meaning, earnest, bad, free advice stage. Is that a tier above or is that a tier below the haters? Am I receding or am I progressing? I don't know. I honestly don't know yet. We'll find out soon. I don't like to air any dirty laundry here. I had a very tedious week. And the tedium continues tonight. and it continues some more tomorrow, and it continues some more Sunday. I am, I wouldn't call this a bad mood. This is the default mood for me. If I want to be completely real with you, this is just the default way I feel most of the time. You know, there is joy. The warthog's joy occasionally enters the equation. Don't worry about me. I'm doing fine in most manners. I had a particularly tedious week. The work was particularly tedious this week. I am so far removed from whatever in God's name the cops or a good lawyer could claim constitutes the fun part of this job. I'm not in the fun part right now. It comes in waves, you know? There's, fun part. The fun part is a glimmer in the wind, you know? And, blink and I miss it. You know what? I blinked and I missed the fun part of the Boku no Natsu Yasumi review. And I'm scared of blinking and missing the fun part of this current review. I got a really angry message from someone on Patreon today as well that I could only see the beginning of it in my email inbox, and then Patreon won't let me log in. Patreon doesn't let me log in half the time. They say they're going to send me a token to help me log in, and then it never arrives, and then I have to call a person on the phone and they don't pick up, and I think they laid off like 80% of their workforce or some ridiculous thing like that. If you're a good web developer, let me know. Yeah, that's another thing. There's supposed to be a website called actionbutton.net. You know what? I don't know where it is. We've been working on it for 2 years. We got to start over. If you're an experienced web developer and web designer and you'd like to help out, let me know. Our boys are drowning. There's just too many things popping off at the same time. I would like to start a new website, something like Defector, and not rely on, not give Patreon like 11% or whatever it is of my money to basically offer me the world's worst blogging software, which they don't even let you embed images. You have to host the images remotely. I have to host my images like on Dropbox and then provide a public share link to post them on Patreon. Patreon's a horrible website. And then to add insult to injury to insult to injury, when you get your Patreon payouts in your bank account, it originates from Stripe. So they're like using a third-party payment service to pay you. Like, why can't I just start a Stripe account and start my own website? That's not patreon.com. Shout me out in the chat if you would pay directly to actionbutton.net. I have to keep unplugging this controller from the charger to get it to register to undarken my screen. Very frustrating. So this is a controller I was using to play Breath of the Wild a couple weeks ago, and I said I wasn't going to say the name of the controller. However, just the other day, something came across my desk. Tech Tips Linus. We love Tech Tips Linus around here, don't we, folks? We love that guy. He's a good friend of the working man, despite having 14.9 million YouTube subscribers as of this exact moment. He still maintains that friend of the working man facade. You know what I like about Tech Tips Linus is he's got all these other people working for him, and they present the videos sometimes. And some of those guys, you can tell he's helping them. He's mentoring them in the art of presentation, in the art of being themselves. I find that very respectable. However, he did a video about this controller. It's the GuliKit King Kong Pro 2 wireless controller. It's a Bluetooth controller, nominally for the Nintendo Switch. It uses Hall effect sensors in the joysticks, which is nice. They don't physically break down. There will never be any drift. I've been using it for a couple months now, and it's Tech Tips Linus did a video about it, so it's going to sell out real fast, probably. And it's probably going to be unavailable because he gave it a very glowing review. So, I'm sad that I didn't tell you about it sooner, because it's possible that you might have just learned about it from Tech Tips Linus and then tried to get one and it was sold out or whatever. I'm sorry I didn't, I wouldn't say the name of it earlier because I don't like recommending products. If we want to get into another subject of email inbox related frustration, people are always asking me to rep their products. I don't want to rep your products. Unless they're really, really good, in which case I'll do it for free. After buying your product with my money. So I don't like to rep products. I don't like to recommend things. I don't ever want to be misquoted about having recommended something. I don't ever want a quote from me on the back of a video game box. I don't want that. I noticed this, a couple things on the social media today entered my purview. Mimsy does, she's taking ballet classes, she's very dedicated to it. And, I wish I could be dedicated to something physical fitness related like that. Mimsy has gotten, I don't think she's watching. She's not here. She's at her mom's house, literally. Mimsy has gotten very physically fit this year. She was always pretty physically fit. Mimsy's getting ripped, dude. And she's doing this ballet. So, good for her. She does these stretches every day. She does a YouTube stretching program after the ballet to, make sure she keeps the muscles limber or whatever. And she's always, the commercials on her YouTube are always so different from the commercials on my YouTube. She usually gets beauty products and such advertised to her. And today, hilariously, if you want to talk about targeted advertising gone awry, and instead of beauty products or dog food or whatever, Mimsy gets advertised. She was advertised 3 times during her stretch routine. That's 20 minutes. She was advertised the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film Black Adam, which I find very funny because she was never has she been advertised. And all the time I sit right here and she does her stretches on the YouTube, on the TV right here. So I have like the whole script of the stretching thing memorized. There's a part where the lady says, "Never, ever, ever let anybody step on you," she says. And I have that burned into my brain. And when she does this particular stretch, she says, push, I want you to push, 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 push. 5 times, 6 times push. I have the whole script of this thing memorized. So I've been sitting here 9 months. She's been doing this stretching routine every day. And she's been doing ballet since the beginning of the year. I don't know if it was per se a New Year's resolution. She's been doing the stretches. She's been keeping up with them. She has never been advertised anything that is not a beauty product, a DoorDash meal service, Grammarly, whatever gets advertised on a podcast or a YouTube video, because she uses YouTube for makeup stuff and stretches. She watches a couple YouTubers she watches, just a couple of them, just a couple of vloggers. She never gets advertised anything that's not outside of that sphere. And today she got triple advertised the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film Black Adam, which I find monstrously fascinating. So I looked over and I'm like, why do you keep getting advertised Black Adam? You haven't, you are not the demographic for this. And I realized, oh, she is the demographic for this because literally everyone on Earth is the demographic for it, because that's who they need to see this movie. Literally everyone on Earth to make up for whatever financial disaster, implosion will occur. So I'm looking up at this. I'm looking at the screen, and a quote. They're showing critic quotes flashing on the screen, and one is like absolutely stunning. And I look under it. It's just a dude's name down there, not a critic who I know of. No comma, and then the name of a publication. Just a dude's name. And I'm not gonna pick through this with a fine-toothed comb for you live on this show, because I did over on my web browser, and it took about 5 minutes. All the quotes on that trailer are just things people said on Twitter. Just normal things normal people said on Twitter. Normies. Not critics, not influencers, not content creators. Normal people. We've reached a point now where we had a guy for a while, this big weird guy, BWG, who vilified the media via a very trite two-word phrase over and over again. And media people are losing their jobs in droves. We have, as a people, if you can call the marketing industry, the advertising industry people, we have started to disrespect critics, I believe. I've noticed. I don't want to talk too much at length about this because it does involve way more inside baseball glimpses into my livelihood than I'm 100% comfortable giving in a venue such as this. Though we've gotten to a point where we're disrespecting critics so hard that we have several cuts of a trailer of a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie that's been in development, for 15 years. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't want to pick a superhero that everybody knew. He wanted to pick a superhero that he could embody, which is also a weird tactic. He's selling his tequila. He's selling his energy drink that purports to be more all natural than the second most all natural energy drink. Dystopia is weird, man. The fact that there are YouTube ads that look like TikToks that are shot in portrait mode with a blurry background by corporations with the budget to make something real or hire an actor. You're out there on the internet and it's like, who is a child? Who is an adult? Who is a robot? Who is a child raised by robots? And wherein lies any scrap of meaningful difference between all of those? And I can't take it. Sometimes. I look at the goddamn internet. I can't goddamn take it, man. I can't take it. And sometimes it's very funny. And other times it's just weird. So then I saw that there's that the Black. So I got really obsessed with the Black Adam marketing campaign. They're out there promoting tweets by the types of people who go see these movies and then get invited to like a press screening. They don't even, the press screenings I guess now are full of people selected via algorithm, like the people who seem the most hyped about it on social media. They'll send them an automated email being like, there's a screening happening in your area, go to this location, and they'll be ready to tweet at midnight, and that is what it is. Most meaningless phrase in the English language. It is what it is. They're out there promoting tweets from these people who have been very clearly invited to. We used to call them press screenings. What are they? I think they still call them press screenings. We should invent a new word for it. Hype screenings. Is that what it is now? Because you're expected to be tweeting on your way out the door of the theater. As you exit the theater, you're expected to say, Black Adam is the best superhero movie I have ever seen. So much better than all the other ones. Good action, loud cars, screaming guns, heavy metal. Like you're expected to do these little quotes, just enough to set my brain on fire thinking about all this stuff. And again, it is what it is. That was just making me feel bonkers. Meanwhile, there is the game God of War Ragnarok is coming out in about a month. 4 years ago, April 20th, 2018, God of War 2018 came out for the PlayStation 4. God of War Ragnarok is it, I don't even know if the word arguably is necessary here. I believe it is the most anticipated game of this year. I think I told you all last week I was paralyzed when someone at a dinner asked me, what games are people looking forward to this fall? I was like, I don't know. And then immediately, God of War. That's what I said. And he goes, oh yeah? What's that? And I'm like, I mean, it's a video game where you're a big dude and you kind of beat people with an axe and, et cetera, et cetera. And so this God of War Ragnarok game is coming out. In 2018, they sent it to press, to critics, 1 month ahead of its launch, of the release of the original God of War 2018. 1 month ahead of release, which was a watershed moment in game criticism for AAA games. Sony had absolutely the right idea. Send the game 1 month early. Right? 1 month early, they sent the game for people to play. Now, they did it again for God of War Ragnarok. Again, very smart. You get better reviews. Video games are more intense than movies. They're more of a marathon is required to play a video game than to watch a movie. Though, I think if you're one of the best possible movie critics, you wouldn't just go see the new Halloween movie. You would rewatch a bunch of Halloween movies before. You'd do homework, right? So there should always be a homework element to criticism. Nonetheless, a game takes a long time to get through. It takes a lot of involvement from the player to get through the game. So it's nice to let the critics sit with the game for a while. I think you have to sit with the game longer than you have to sit with a movie. Because if you're a skilled movie critic, you can walk out of a movie and have your 800-word review just perfectly crystalline. Whereas a game, maybe you want the player to take some time over multiple sessions. Treat it at the very least like a season of a TV show, right? So I'm sure streaming services send their whole seasons of TV shows to the critics and let them sit with it for at least a couple of weeks. So they sent God of War Ragnarok to people early. I remember Sony also sent Death Stranding a little bit early enough that I was able to compose a very, very thorough review for Kotaku.com, even though I was only allowed to use a total of 20 minutes of footage from the first 4 chapters of the game, not allowed to use anything later than that. Continue to get people criticizing that review in my inbox saying, why didn't you show anything from here? And I'm like, it's all explained in the video. I was watching some scripting tutorial today for something I'm working on and programming. I was watching a programming video, and there's a guy who's like, somebody's out there with dirt bikes. There's kids with dirt bikes around here. They rule. I wish I was friends with them. You hear that? That dirt bike is growling. So I was watching this programming tutorial, and there's a reply. There's like a comment on it. You can't just read a programming tutorial anymore. It's got to be a YouTube video. And now the cops are taking action against the kid who was dirt biking, as they often do. It all goes down here on Central Park West. And they love Central Park West, everybody. Smells like dirt bike fuel in here. I got the window open. Smells like lighter fuel. That dirt bike's running on lighter fuel. So, so the programming tutorial. A guy's like, I don't know if you mentioned this in the video, because I haven't watched it yet, but what do I do if I have this? It's like, man, there's like, you just put out there 3 ways you could answer this, 3 ways you could fix your need to ask this question, just all in rapid fire. It's incredible that the person resisted answering their question. Anyway, this God of War Ragnarok thing, this Death Stranding thing, people giving me advice about the Death Stranding video that I posted 3 years ago at a job that I left over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Whole lot going on, whole lot. Though, this God of War, I remember when Death Stranding, when they sent us a Death Stranding code, and when they sent us the God of War Ragnarok code, or the God of War 1 2018, God of War 2018 code, when they sent it to us, they were like, at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific, on X day, you may schedule a social media post to mention that you're playing the game, but no more. Do not post a picture of the game's box. Do not if it was a digital code, do not post a picture of the game's icon. For Death Stranding, it was like you may post a picture of the game's icon in your PlayStation 4's launch menu. And last night, I believe, or today, I remember posting when Death Stranding came, when I was allowed to say I was playing Death Stranding, I made what I thought was a somewhat comical post on Twitter that was like, I'm playing Death Stranding, and Sony says it's okay for me to tell you at this exact moment that I'm playing it. And my Twitter DM inbox flooded with absolutely freakish comments. Absolutely freakish comments. And it was the biggest influx of those kinds of comments that I ever got at any one time. And I wonder, and I assume that happens, I assume that anyone sending such a comment or a question to me like that, usually nine times out of 10, they were asking questions that had been amply answered elsewhere by that point in time. Is the game 60 FPS? A couple people asked. It's like, no. Death Stranding was not 60 FPS. I get comments on my Final Fantasy VII Remake video lately asking why the footage in the game isn't 60 FPS. It's like, because I made it before the 60 FPS version came out. Nobody has any respect for critics. Nobody has any respect for timestamps anymore. So I made this tweet about Death Stranding. I'm playing Death Stranding. Wow. Expect my review when the embargo is up. And I made a similar tweet about God of War, similarly tongue-in-cheekily. And today I saw a bunch of those tweets popping off from critics who have been playing God of War Ragnarok. And it just made me feel a little bit weird and sad. Not sad because I didn't get a code for God of War Ragnarok. I know why I didn't get a code for God of War Ragnarok. It's because I don't post on social media, is why. So that's exactly why. I didn't get one. However, I have received a lot of messages today asking why I didn't tweet about playing God of War Ragnarok. There's a really, really clear answer. And it's one of two answers. One is, I'm not playing it. Number two is, just look at my Twitter and see that I made one tweet this year, which was announcing the launch of a video. Lots of people asking why I didn't tweet about playing God of War Ragnarok. However, there's even more people asking what I think of God of War Ragnarok. Asking how good is it? Asking if I beat it yet. Asking how many hours long is it? Asking how the performance is. Asking if the performance modes graphics are too much worse than the fidelity modes graphics. Asking all manner of granular, specific, sometimes boring questions. Questions that will be imminently answered in good time. I didn't say anything. I didn't make any tweets this goddarn whole year. And I've got an avalanche of people asking me questions about this game that I'm not playing. And I'm pleased to report I had fun with 0 of those people. I just didn't reply to any of them. If you sent me a message on Twitter this week with a question or a comment not related to, for example, God of War Ragnarok, and I didn't answer it, it could be because your message was buried beneath a few dozen of messages about God of War Ragnarok. So it's very strange. That game is either that game is fixing to be the number one biggest, big boyest, bacon brownies game of all time. Big boys baking brownies. That's what that game is going to be. Brownies of weed and money. Either that game is fixing to be the biggest game of all goddarn time, or and this is more likely, or the internet has just gotten weirder over the past couple of years. It's too soon to call. It's too soon to say. People asking if I'm playing it on PS4 or PS5. How does it run on PS4? I'm being asked, as though I both have the game and I've gotten my PS4 out of the closet to test God of War Ragnarok on PS4 instead of just playing it on PS5 for fun. As though like people come at me like I'm Digital Foundry. They're like, oh, you used to work at the same place that Jason Schreier used to work. I'm gonna ask you the same questions I asked Jason Schreier. Jason Schreier, God bless him, first of all, posted his I'm playing God of War Ragnarok tweet, and then there's a follow-up tweet to it where he's like showing his mentions. That's a goddarn shame. I don't know if you all saw. Did you all see this tweet? Somebody dig it up and post it in the chat. It blows my mind. I mean, I get some pretty bad tweets too, even if I don't tweet anything. People dig stuff up and yell at me about it. Though they, I mean, nothing like actually worth yelling at me about. Usually stuff like, I like Final Fantasy 15. Let's kill this guy, they say to me, or whatever. It was quite a scene in his Twitter mentions. It was quite a scene. Maybe I should take a look at the chat. How's the chat going? Oh, somebody posted it in the chat. Very good, Shooter McGavin. Good work. Oh, 2 people posted it. It's pretty good, isn't it? What did I think of that FF16 trailer? There's a question that I wish someone else had asked me. It's I wish people would ask me about that instead of God of War Ragnarok. I will only tell one person what I thought of that Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and that's the Night Sky Prince. He's got to invite me on his stream. So get in there and tell him to invite me on his podcast so I can talk about it. Is this a jacket I was waiting for? No, this is a jacket I've always had. I've always had this one. Do I like San Francisco? It's okay. It is hard to live there for a non-billionaire person. Yeah. Oh, you said that was your last trailer for FF16 until release? Yeah, I watched it out of professional interest. I avoid movie trailers of movies that I know I'm going to enjoy. I feel like with something like video games that are important to work that I'm doing right now, I should probably watch the trailers. Anybody in the chat knows that I am reviewing a game somewhat relevant to Final Fantasy 16 at some point in the future. Somewhat relevant, slightly relevant. Again, I don't like, people consider it a spoiler for me to just say coldly the names of the games that I'm going to review, so I guess I just shouldn't do it. And also it's fun to avoid saying stuff. It's fun to avoid saying stuff. So it's, that FF16 trailer was real good. I think the game looks good. I saw some people hating on it. I saw some people saying that they think the action looks bad. It looks like Kingdom Hearts. It looks good. It's the battle director of Devil May Cry 5. What more do you want, right? A good-looking game, or a real good-looking game. I think I'm going to have a good time with it. And I appreciate that it's a little different from the more recent Final Fantasies that came out so recently. Like Final Fantasy 15. That came out just the other day, didn't it? Right? Came out just the other day, right? Was what I saw people saying. Like, there's always that moment when something happens or something comes out. There's always that moment where someone's like, didn't the most recent one just come out? I saw someone say, like, a lot of people on the internet, again, they're children. There's a lot of actual children, right? So like the Jason Schreier tweet where like the first 3 replies are, GTA 6 announcement today? It's like, he's not Rockstar. He is a Rockstar, but he's not Rockstar. So, he's not going to announce the Grand Theft Auto 6. Much like anytime PlayStation makes any tweet, the first reply is, when's the new God of War trailer? Why do people want to watch a God of War trailer Just play the game. The game is coming imminently. Why are people asking me really specific story questions about God of War Ragnarok that feel like spoilers, almost? They're asking me very specific questions. Why do you want to know if blank character dies at it, before the midpoint of the game? Why do you want to know that now? Why don't you just want to play the game? It's one thing to be the sort of person who, quote unquote, doesn't mind spoilers. It's another thing to be the person who is out there cold emailing a guy. I say emailing because that's just force of habit. That shows my age. I remember when email was how you talk to people online. Just cold emailing a guy, begging for spoilers, just rock hardly begging for spoilers. That's weird, GTA 6 trailer when? GTA 6, people still ask me about people have been asking me about the Bloodborne PC port for years now. They just won't stop. People keep asking. I don't know. I'm not some ultra connected insider investigative journalist who knows when and people ask me if Jason Schreier knows about the Bloodborne remake, and I'm like, the congenial response to this is you should ask him, but something about your diction and syntax tells me you already did, and were roundly and deservedly ignored. Just no punctuation at all. A bunch of real Yahtzees up in here. It's just mind bending to look at the social media. I've noticed a lot of people on the social media dunking on TikToks lately, and I don't think we should dunk on TikTok in general. I think Gen Z is doing a fine job. A fine job of not getting beat up for caring about the sorts of stuff I cared about when I was their age. And I love that for them, period. Absolutely no hate or disrespect. I'm glad we got there. I love to use the great example that I played Dragon Quest in elementary school and middle school so that you could play Pokemon in elementary school. I played Dragon Quest in middle school as a loser so that you could play Pokemon in elementary school as a cool kid. Okay, that's me. Again, I don't hate anybody for that. I'm doing well financially now because of my experience playing Dragon Quest. I wish you all the best. Gen Z, doing a great job, doing a wonderful job with the politics and the progressiveness. Keep at it. TikTok, if that's how you're gonna weaponize good ideas, go for it. TikTok as a platform, I think they are kind of selling all your data kind of to China. They're just, not just China, but they're just kind of, they're doing something dark with it because every social media is doing something dark. You don't need to be some tinfoil hat uncle to be wary of social media. I mean, have you ever looked at Facebook? Have you seen this stuff with Mark Zuckerberg's avatars and whatnot? It's all bad, man. It's all a disaster, and they're doing every bad thing you could possibly imagine. Though, again, the Gen Z kids on the TikToks, more power to them, all the power to them. However, I have noticed this worrying trend that I've seen people dunking on of like a 17-year-old kid who's like been to a couple therapy sessions in his life, offering mental health advice at large and going mega viral, and the advice isn't actually that good or healthy. Mimsy was watching a YouTube video by a person. I don't want to get too deeply into this. She was watching a YouTube video by a person the other day, and she was like, doesn't this video suck? Doesn't this person suck? And I stand there and I'm like, ah, man, this isn't good. I was like, this is really bad. And I'm like, how many views does this have? And it's like 18 million or whatever. And I'm just like, uh-oh. All the other stuff, though, you know, the fact that K-pop is popular now, I mean, that's, you know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, it's not just the mental health advice. Yeah, health advice, a lot of health advice stuff. Again, well-meaning. It's well-meaning. Though, you got to be careful out there. It's 2022, and there are still local news stations all across America running news stories about drug dealers packing candy full of drugs. Except now it's, what is it? It's the drug that the Republicans pronounce as fentanyl. Fentanyl. It's that one. They're putting that in Skittles bags. It's drug dealers, these famously generous individuals. Oh, they want to hook your kids young. They want to get them addicted young. It's like, I mean, maybe there was at some point a Skittles bag full of drugs. Someone used a Skittles bag to smuggle drugs. I mean, I've seen drugs smuggled in all manner of kitschy items and containers. I mentioned a 5-hour energy drink to a guy the other day, or in a guy's proximity the other day, and, you know, those things will kill you. It's like, oh, yeah? Yeah, people have heart attacks when they drink those sometimes, and they die. Look it up. It's like, okay, you know, should the internet not, you know, or at least the utopian idea of it, if they'd accounted for the internet in vintage Star Trek, would not they have alluded to its effectiveness in destroying the concept of the urban myth? Should Snopes.com not have as much money as Google? Like, I don't know. Instead, we treat myth busting like something fun to do on TV between Chili's advertisements. IDK, man. It's just it's a messed up world full of well-meaning bad advice. Yeah, there's not calling caffeine overdose an urban myth. I'm saying that every single time I have ever heard someone mention 5-hour energy drink, every single time I have heard a person mention 5-hour energy drink, I have also heard a person state coldly and flatly that they're never going to drink one because too many people get heart attacks and die when they drink them. Like, that's, I mean, I literally, like, I feel like it's every single time. There's maybe 3 times in my memory that stick out when I didn't hear that happen. So, I've mentioned this before, though. In California, when you, the difference between California and New York is simple. In California, when you bring a case of Coke Zero, a 12-pack of Coke Zero, up to the cash register at a Target, the 60-year-old hippie man with a big, long gray ponytail hits on the teenage cashier by telling you, you know, that stuff's just as bad as sugar. There have been studies. And in New York, when you bring a 12-pack of Coca-Cola to a cash register, Coca-Cola Zero to a cash register, they put it into a bag without asking you. It's got a handle on it, right? That is the core difference between New York and California. I've determined. Scientific conclusion. They just put it in a plastic bag. Here you go. Not even supposed to have plastic bags. I don't know where they get them from. It's like, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't sit here and guzzle this stuff. I drink 1 or 2 a day, right? I can't even get through this one. My throat hurts so much. It's like burning my throat. I have some acid reflux thing. I'm sleeping on a 45-degree incline pillow. It's not a pillow, it's like a big hard wedge. A wedge pillow that I was prescribed by an ear, nose, and throat specialist to gravitatiously reverse the damage of begin the healing process for my goddarn laryngopharyngeal reflux. Caused a disc bulge in my L5-S1 spine. So now I got physical therapy during the day for my spine and physical therapy at night for my throat. I'll tell you what. And I mean, it's fun. And you know what? Maybe Gen Z is going to be the generation that actually figures this out. There's something I've noticed. I'm Gen X. Just letting everyone know that I'm not a millennial. Not a millennial. If you owned Nevermind on CD before Kurt Cobain died, you're not a millennial. I believe that's the metric I've come up with. That describes me. You're Gen X. That's the absolute cutoff point. Period. I realize that the sound effect choice there could be viewed as somewhat distasteful. I don't mean any offense. What was I saying? Okay, maybe Gen Z will be the generation to figure this out. My generation especially. Like I saw, there was an editorial going around some newspaper recently that was saying there's never going to be a Gen X president. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'll never be president. Nobody I ever hung out with is ever going to be president. Right? Because, it's a particular sort of generation. Maybe Gen Z is going to figure out something that we couldn't. Which is, I feel like 100% ignoring the advice of adults was just something that every generation ever did. Like when your dad comes at you and says, now when I was your age, my dad told me this, and I didn't believe him. But now that I got older, I know he was right, so listen to me. It's like you just told me that someone gave you advice and you didn't take it. Is that your best opening argument for giving me advice you want me to take? Right? So, I mean, I've got that as some sort of splinter in my brain, I've got that little, that particular notion. And I'm like, how can I give some people some advice that I wish I'd taken, that I wish someone had earnestly given me when I was younger? Right? How can I package that advice in a way that doesn't make me sound like a loser for having not taken it? I didn't believe my dad when he told me this. My dad told me to eat my vegetables and I didn't believe him. I eat the heck out of my vegetables now. Nobody told me to eat vegetables when I was a kid. I'm giving bad examples because nobody gave me any advice when I was a kid, so I'm a little immune to this. The teachers would say things and you'd ignore them because they were so boring about the advice they gave. Maybe Gen Z's learning stuff, though. Maybe they've found a way to learn stuff. When you get older, you get more conservative. Oni Spumoni says, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know about that. I still think, I'm not going to get into exactly how not conservative I am here. I don't want to get I don't want to get, the FBI. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the stuff like back pain. You gotta do some exercises, man. You got to. You gotta do some exercise. I'm not body shaming anybody. But there's some stretches. You should do some stretches every day, man. Cause stuff like back pain's gonna happen. It's the number one reason people go to the doctor is back pain. You gotta have a good chair. You gotta stand up every once in a while. You gotta go outside and walk around every once in a while. You got to. When I was a kid, my dad told me this. I didn't believe him. Oh my God. It's, you gotta do that stuff, dude. You may have your dad telling you, when you get older, you're not gonna be able to eat all that hot sauce. And I'm like, suck it, Dad. And I'm just pouring Tabasco over my food, right? You ever get, then you end up with gastritis and esophagitis. And now it's just, my whole body's on fire. A pain management doctor was telling me on the subject of neuropathy and neuralgia. Pain doctor was telling me that your body's system for communicating pain is so stupid, so primitive, that heartburn can, on occasion, if it's bad enough, it can just kind of feel like your back is broken. Because, there's only a couple of nerves there. And it's all just approximations. And I know from having shingles, I had shingles at that one point, and shingles was absolutely no joke, the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I have now what they call post-herpetic neuralgia. Herpetic being the, adjective word for herpes. Shingles is a type of herpes. Okay? Chicken pox is a type of herpes, and shingles is the same type of herpes as chicken pox. I'm currently experiencing something called post-herpetic neuralgia in my left flank. And it is just every once in a while, just the absolute worst pain that I've ever felt in my life. It comes back for a couple minutes at a time. And because of the stupidity of the human pain communication system, it goes from just 0 to whatever the 100% is. Turns out pain can go pretty high. It can just turn the volume up. And it feels like my back is broken, like my ribs are broken, like I've been shot with a gun, like my heart exploded, like my stomach was stabbed with a knife, like just all of those things, just for just like 3 or 4 seconds. And it's, the doctor tells me that's what it is. They did all the tests. I don't have stomach cancer. I don't have lung cancer. My back is, in fact, not broken. It's just, they're like, yeah, you're going to have this horrible pains for a couple minutes every once in a while. And it's like, it's no good, Jerry. I mean, some people have it worse. Some people have this pain just constantly. Just constant debilitating post-herpetic neuralgia from shingles. No good. The shingles was real bad. It's very interesting that you hear the word shingles and you think, oh, I've heard of that. That's some kind of disease, isn't it? Is that like rickets? Is that like scurvy? Is that something for your roof, right? Like, and then it's like, man, I didn't know it was that bad. Anybody in the chat have shingles? Anybody in the chat ever had shingles? Fibromyalgia. Yeah, they told me I might have fibromyalgia, and then they're like, maybe you don't, though. Diabetic neuropathy. Yeah, that's a similar one as well. Yeah, Kibbo, you had the shingles and it sucked. Sphere Hunter, hey, what's up, Sphere Hunter? How you doing? You excited about that Resident Evil 4? I'm real excited about that Resident Evil 4 remake, dude. I'm ready for that. Used to do parkour when I was a kid, and for whatever reason decided to do some training with the free running gym. One backflip, landed perfectly, knee hurt for a week. Yeah, I've got they tell you, your elder relatives will tell you, when you get older, you can't do as much exercise. It hurts more. It's like it does, dude. That's why I'm telling you, you gotta walk outside. David Letterman had shingles. Did David Letterman, when did he talk about shingles? I like Dave. Dave's funny. I have bad migraines all the time. Shingles. We got some shingles. We got a lot of shingles in the chat. Girl in your 5th grade class, you got chickenpox and shingles within 2 months of each other. She was in 5th grade. If you're under a specific age and you get shingles very soon after getting chickenpox, I believe they will give you the vaccine. They didn't give me the vaccine for shingles. They told me it would cost $1,800. And I didn't feel like it was worth paying for. I mean, it wouldn't have helped anyway. I should have... They only give it to people over 50, apparently. I think they should just give it to people. I think if you have chickenpox, you should be able to... If you've had chickenpox, you should be allowed to get the shingles vaccine. Everybody has the chickenpox vaccine now, right? Right? Who in the chats had the chickenpox vaccine? Is it just normal? Shingles in the eyeball is terrifying. There's like retinal herpes you can get. That is horrible. I've had some problems with my eyes over the course of my life. I've had a few retinal inflammations, and I've had an optic nerve inflammation. I've had a couple of these things. I had a retinal inflammation, something called central serous chorioretinopathy. I had when I was 25. They looked into to see if they tested me for herpes when I had this problem, just to see if I had optic herpes or whatever. It turns out I didn't. They did a scan of my eye. Thought I was going blind. It was like a blind spot in the middle of my eye. I've been skittish about eyeball stuff my whole life. But yeah, that's how I learned about herpes of the eye. Like, it could be herpes in your eye. I'm like, excuse me. And then there's shingles can actually target specifically the eye. The world is, the pain is bad. Pain is bad. Pain is no good. There's a lot of people in the chat. A whole lot of people in the chat. There's just too much in the chat for me to address it. Oh my god, it's scrolled way. Oh, there's a lot of people talking in here. How's everybody doing in the chat? I had chickenpox when I was 7 years old. I had it pretty bad, covered in all those little dots. They scabbed over and fell off. Got all scabby. And then after that, I was fine, as most people are. There's always, you ever notice you're always getting sick when you're a child? Get sick. I mean, I got sick a lot more as a child than I did, than I have as an adult, so that's fun. I mean, like sick. Like, I've got these problems that the doctor says, oh, you're all right. Ever since I had the COVID, the problems have just been avalanching. The shingles happened after the steroids that I was prescribed for the lung damage from the pneumonia from the COVID. I had pneumonia from the COVID. That was before it was cool, though, so I've been taking this steroid inhaler for my lungs. Got shingles, and then I, completely unrelatedly, I think, I had a tonsil abscess. Or I had strep throat that turned into a tonsil abscess that turned into a blood clot. And now, I'm on like clot watch for, Yeah, they get me in there and they do like a D-dimer test or whatever. I'm on Clot Watch now. And I'm on a steroid inhaler. Just on all this stuff. It's just nonsense. I don't even go outside anymore. Because I'm just in pain and I've got this job. It's come to my attention recently. You know, we're just going to keep on talking about this stuff. It's come to my attention recently. It's been brought to my attention that persons I know, persons I have hung out with in the past, have expressed publicly to other people. A narc told me this. So, a narc told me that people I know are upset at me because ever since I became some big shot successful YouTuber, I don't want to hang out with them anymore. No. I wouldn't mind hanging out with some people. It's just there's a coronavirus. I'm chronically ill. I'm exhausted all the time. I own 100% of my business. I'm motivated to work. It's not crunch for me. It's, business and pleasure inextricably intertwined, eternally retold. Souls and swords. Welcome to the stage of history, etc., etc. People are like, oh, he doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. It's like, no. I mean, I'm just, hey, ever since I became a big shot YouTuber, I don't want to hang out with my friends anymore. Yeah, I'm chronically ill. I own my own business. There's a part where I'm like, there comes a time in every strange man's life where he has to get serious, and for me, that time is now, as Ricky Jay once said. I just, I'm trying to make something over here. Not just something, I'm trying to make a whole bunch of things over here. It's like I got a bunch of torrents going, and, some of them are coming in faster than the others. And I moved the Boku no Natsuyasumi one up to the top of the priority list. Get on the forums, say seed, please, It's like that, right? People still have torrent forums. Do they still have that? They still have torrent forums? They still have torrent. Oh my God, Mimsy is back! Mimsy is back, everybody. Mimsy is here. Mimsy is here. Mimsy is here. Mimsy is here. Oh, these dogs are coming over. Oh no. Oh my God, is that my princess? Come here, baby. Oh, she said hello. Oh, you're a chubby. She said hello. She said hello. Oh, my princess. You chubby girl. She's been gone. She's been gone for a week. She's been with Mimsy's mom. Because she's in heat. And these boys won't leave her alone. That's why they's wearing diapers. Okay, they're freaking out. They really want to hug her. Okay. Mimsy is here. You guys are going to rip up my sugarcane 1947 jeans with those long fingernails of yours. They are howling. Look at her. Oh, she's so beautiful, Mimsy, isn't she? Oh, I like her so much. Want to put her down? But I'm hugging her. I'll put her down. You going to feed her? Okay, here, hold on. I got it. I got you, baby. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, my friend. You want to get her? Okay, here. Oh, my princess. I like her. She's in this castle now, if you know what I mean. I was gonna play a video game. I had a video game ready to play. I told myself I'd stream an hour a week. This has been an hour, right? How you doing, Bum Bum? Mimsy says she's doing good, everybody. Does anybody have any other questions for Bum Bum? Thank you, Bum Bum. Anybody have any other questions? Mimsy's gonna make dog food now, she says. You have to buy ingredients? Where? You're gonna go to the supermarket? Are you gonna go to the Whole Foods we live next door to? We live next door to a Whole Foods, everybody. Do you like my joke about how we live next door to a Whole Foods? Mimsy gets mad whenever I reveal any details whatsoever about where we live. So I'm joking about saying we live next to a Whole Foods, but we might actually live next to a Whole Foods. Mimsy says she's real mad that I revealed we live next to a Whole Foods. What is in the homemade dog food, Mimsy? That's a question. Spinach. Carrot. Apple. Rice. And chicken. And chicken gizzards. And chicken liver. Livers and gizzards, both in this economy? Does Bibby have a diaper on? Bibby doesn't have a diaper. You think she's done? Well, it doesn't look like she's completely done. Okay, Bibby, get off. Get Bib off of her. Bibby's not, okay. Oh my God. These dogs are ripping my cables on the floor. I'm in the middle of a consultation with a professional who's going to help me with the AV situation. If anybody in the chat can get me an Asus ROG Strix 4090, I will pay for it. Don't scalp me. My little birds, my little birdies, my little friends, my little buddies, my little snakes. I'm talking about my Python environment. They've yet to get an Asus ROG Strix. I'm scared of getting banned from Newegg for too small of a time interval. So I've got it on like once per minute, and apparently other people are triggering them faster. I want the ROG one. I'm sorry. For gaming or for editing, someone asks. The answer is yes. For everything. Me and Mimsy were going to play Persona 5 on stream this week. But we can't. Because you didn't get me an Asus ROG Strix 4090. I want the ROG Strix one because it's like 3% faster. And when you have rendering tasks that, you know, when you work 80 hours a week or whatever, I'm not sure this math is 100% kosher. And when you work 80 hours a week, when your computer is working 80 hours a week, maybe on GPU intensive tasks, maybe that 3% adds up, right? Dice Game Witch, your dad got banned from Newegg? How? I do not want to get banned from Newegg. Ben Cohen, you say the Founders Edition is the best? My little snakes are trying to get a Founders Edition as well. Though I do want I just want that strict. So wait, because the Founders Edition you can water cool, right? It's my favorite soup, minestrone. Yeah, it's a real shame about the EVGA cards. I've got EVGA 3090 here. I've really got to build a new PC, and I think I'm going with I'm gonna go with the Ryzen again, the 7950. This current PC, it has a destination already. It was always designed to go to a particular place, and it shall go there. So I need a new. I was going to build a Threadripper workstation this year, and I decided to wait for the next Threadripper. And then hopefully make that like my 10-year computer. I don't know about no 10-year computer. Though I'm going to go with the 7950, even though the Intels look better. They look better this time around. I have full confidence that I want to just build a gaming PC that I can, the dream, that I can just upgrade the parts in it. I'm very excited. This PC I have here, pointing at it, is very close to my hand. This PC I have here was 100% designed visually by me for the footy. It was designed for the B-roll and the Cyberpunk video, unambiguously designed for B-roll. I wanted the most gamery looking PC. My 4090 machine, I'm thinking I'm going with just a much more normal looking one. There's a little tempered glass in the side panel, that's fine. I want kind of a more normal PC is perfectly fine by me for this one. I'm looking at Fantex cases, Fractal Design cases. It's just I need the darn thing to fit. I need the darn thing to fit. You know? And I really don't know, I don't know how to fit this 49. I don't know what cases will fit the 4090s. What is this, that dice game which you have linked? Oh, should I get the... See, I can't get a mid tower. I need a full tower, Jerry. I need a full tower. I also need a streaming PC. I need a streaming PC as well. And I'm wondering if I should or should not just get one of those dual system cases. You know? And have I don't know, because I'm trying to exorcise Elgato products. No offense to Elgato. I like the Stream Deck. Though, I could use it mostly for that. I mean, I have issues with their camera link and their capture card that I just, I gotta ditch them. And I'm looking to upgrade that to, just gonna get like a Blackmagic card. And, I gotta stop using this Kid Brother tech. I gotta get the Kid Brother tech out. Single PC with 2 GPUs. Thinking about that. I just, I need... Crystal Lee just repaired a broken Soul Edge arcade board. God, I love Soul Edge. Transcending history and the world. A tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. You know who's that actor, Ian Glenn? Guy who plays Ser Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones. If they ever do a Soul Calibur movie, they need to hire him just to say that at the beginning of the movie. Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. Right? Did I solve my eBay sale problem? Yes, I did. Also, I will reply to your message on Twitter at some point. I mean to. What was it? The Fantex 500 without the fans? Yes, I just, I don't want the RGB anything anymore. I do want the ROG Strix, or maybe I don't. To make a good case for, I would, I don't know, I just want a good, quiet computer that's not too stupid looking. It doesn't look like anything at all. I just, it's frustrating to think about. Though I do have this computer I'm working on now it has an appointment and it can't be late. It must make its way toward its destination soon. being very nebulous about whatever that means. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at the AV1 encoding. I'm looking at all that stuff. I would just like to get this computer. I just want to build a gaming PC now, and then a workstation later, and a streaming PC. And it's like, am I going to have 3 PCs? Well, yeah. Yeah, why not, right? You can have 3 PCs. In the next 3 years. We're going to have 3 PCs in 3 years. That's the action button plan. And then after that, I'm done. I built this current PC 2 years ago. So, I feel I don't have to justify to you, Mom, that I'm building another PC. No. Dad, I do deserve another PC already. Deserve's got very little to do with it. Yeah. I mean, I've got all my parts in a Newegg basket. Nobody's buying the 7950X. Nobody's buying it. I'm looking at those Intel GPUs. I just want like a really tall tower. And I was thinking about mounting it up on the wall. Not mounting it on the wall, but putting a shelf on the wall and putting the PC on it. I'm thinking now just some kind of riser on my desk so that I can put stuff under it. It'd be probably suffice for me. I would just like to put some stuff under it. My audio interface, right? It's just, I got a mess of cables here in this house. Just a complete mess. And I hate it. Build a workstation now, wait for the AMD 7950X 3D for gaming. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. It's just we're getting into a period where I'm going to very soon need a PC. Very soon, and I'm also, it's so annoying to think about any of this stuff, because, you know, they really do turn it into its own metagame. And also, it's like, I happen to be in the fortunate position of, if I need to move something, like if I build a PC, and then I want to build a new one, and I want to get rid of the old one, I'm in this luxurious position where I can very easily say on a live stream, who wants to buy my computer? Who wants to buy it? And somebody would buy it, and I would give them a very fair price for it, and I wouldn't feel bad about that. I'm in a very good position for that. Build a server rack for rendering. I have a QNAP, 16 bay NAS that I use for rendering now. I've had that for a while. I've got 12 20 terabyte hard drives in there. Yeah, I can't fit a server rack. I mean, I live in a very, 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 very small apartment. And the QNAP takes up a significant portion of the apartment. So I can't upgrade that, unfortunately. I got about another year before that thing is full. About another year. Our electric bill's not so bad here. It's not as bad as you think. But I mean, I do, my QNAP is pretty quiet. I do want to put it either in the closet over there or on a shelf back here. The shelf you see behind me, almost everything is gone from the shelf. I've gotten rid of, put away, sold, trashed, donated, given away. Got a whole lot of that stuff gone. Oh, Crystal Lee, you got your QNAP. Where do you put your QNAP? I really want to not have mine on my desk where my right hand keeps banging into it when I move my mouse. This is how I hold my mouse now, because I have one of those Logitech ergonomic vertical mice where I move it like this. It's a little rough. I would really like it to just not be taking up the whole right half of my desk. And the UPS, the uninterruptible power supply. I am using a 38-inch LG 3840 by 1600 monitor, 175 hertz. I like it. However, I would like to be able to It's a 21:9 monitor. I would like to have a 16:9 monitor that I can capture 4K footage of games on, if I like, via NVIDIA Shadowplay, if I ever need to duck into a PC game and capture something really quick. I would love to be able to like stream games from my desk. I have a whole laundry list of stuff I want to do in this apartment to make it easier to stream, to make the microphones sound better, to put a camera over here, instead of over here, in addition to over here, maybe a camera right here, and then another camera head on coming in. Like this camera angle I think is weird. I make it work by generous cropping, though. I mean, this doesn't look right. I don't know. Too much of a perspective going on there. I just have so many little miniature nightmares revolving around the idea of playing video games while sitting here. And it's like, shouldn't video games be fun? I'm gonna get that 4090 and I'm gonna goddarn just kill the Griffin in Witcher 3 again? Is that what I'm gonna do? It's just very sad to sit around and think about what next thing and next thing and next thing is coming in the PCs. To think about buying a PC component, using it a little bit, passing it over to someone else, or selling it for a decent recoup when the next thing comes out to replace it. DDR5 RAM now. They got a DDR5 now. X670. Right? So I'm ready to go RGB free. Yeah, giving away old GPUs to friends is a thing. What do I need in a web developer? You tell me. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. Ain't got no website. Right? I ain't got one, Jerry. So, you know, I mean, you know, let's just say there's an opportunity for a web developer experienced and adept enough to have an excruciating nightmare. So, you know, I have ideas. You know what I mean. Don't read just, you know, I tell people this. You know, one thing that annoys me, if you want to get back to messages that annoy me on the internet, is people messaging me to let me know that they, like, read something I wrote that I said, if you read this, please just don't ask me any questions about it. Don't talk to me about this if you read it. And then they're like, I read this and I know you said you don't want people to ask you questions about this, but can I ask you a question about this? It's like, man, come on, man, please. Consider every single word of writing on actionbutton.net something I just don't want to talk about. Don't want to talk about it. I have received so many just perfectly normal emails from perfectly reasonable people accusing me of attempting to hide my past by deleting all the reviews on actionbutton.com and instead putting up promos for video games. And it's like, I kind of want to tell these people it's actionbutton.net is the one that has the video game reviews on it. But I also I don't think I should reply to them, right? I shouldn't reply to these people. And it's like, it's very tricky. It's like you're trying to scrub your controversial internet presence
from the internet by deleting all the reviews on actionbutton.com. And I'm like, oh no. I've gotten several emails, and I say emails. I've gotten several electronic correspondences on that particular subject, and that's always a little discomforting for me, because it's a misunderstanding that can be cleared up very quickly. And you know, it's kind of irresponsible for me to clear it up, because you're engaging with the kind of person you just probably shouldn't engage with. The bad faith, I believe I think we actually lose a little something when we develop a vocabularic phrase like bad faith to just catch all of these people in one description. There are so many flavors of bad faith, so many hundreds of shades of gray there that we, you know, it's difficult to just throw them in there. You know, I recently, I'll say this, if you're the sort of person to notice this on your own and take offense to it, you've already sent me one of the worst emails I've ever gotten in my life. So I'm just going to say it out loud. I hid the dollar amount on the Patreon recently. And just immediately got less than 3 minutes later. I'm exaggerating, but it was about 4 hours. About 4 hours later, I got one of the worst emails I've ever gotten in my life from a guy about it. And he's not a Patreon backer. Just one of the worst. I mean, it was worse than any of the emails about the guy who wants to see my feet. Way worse than any of the emails the guy who wants to see my feet has ever sent me. You know, here's my shoe. That's my big boy boot. Way worse than any of those. And that's saying so. His emails actually aren't that bad. He's quite a nice guy. He's just got to stop asking about making me wear shoes. I'm wearing shoes in my house because my floor's not clean. And my floor's not clean, and it's not my fault that my floor's not clean. We're working on it, okay? The guy was like, oh, so you finally did it. You finally hid your Patreon dollar amount so you can continue begging for money in public all the time. Begging for money on your podcasts and your live streams while you're not doing your job. And I'm just like, I really wish this guy would go away. I don't know his name. Don't know what he looks like. You know, so if he were to just never message me again, you know, I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't feel like anything personal. You know, if you just let me go, buddy. Why does he care? I mean, why does he care? Because, you know, it's the internet, man. It's you gotta care about something. Yeah, people are out there. People are out there. I want to tell this guy. It's weird. It's weird because it's like, why would you be so diligent about hating, about annoying and harassing a person whose stuff you like, right? He wants my new videos so badly that he's willing to say horrible, vile things to me. Because he thinks that motivates me. It doesn't, man. You know, for whatever kind of character I present in these videos, you know, I'm willing to say it's a character. Why not? However I present myself in these videos, I think, you know, I'm comfortable saying I feel mentally healthy enough in my life to say that a guy like that can't influence me. You know, you're not going to change the way I do my job. The way I do my job has changed a little bit over time. It's changed a little bit. The original mission statement was a little different from the mission statement now. And I love it. I like the way we're doing stuff right now. I think it's pretty good. And I'm going to keep doing it that way. There's a guy who just, he doesn't like it. He does not like the way I'm doing. He thinks
He told me he's getting a class action lawsuit together. This guy told me this. He said he's talked to many of the Patreon backers, and they're in agreement, and they're getting together. Good luck, right? I mean, like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, all of them. It's yeah. I mean, I'm not. Someone says he sounds mentally ill. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm only reporting objectively. And I mean, I mentioned it as a guy. There's a couple guys doing similar things, and it's just a little. It's a little sad to think about those guys. But again, I think I'm in a position in my life where I'm willing to admit that I'm okay with not eternally shouldering the burden of apologizing to people like that for their bad faith interpretations of such and such. I got 3 dogs down here again. Who wants to see 3 dogs? Shout me out in the chat if you want to see 3 dogs. Mimsy, are they saying they want to see 3 dogs?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Who wants to see 3 dogs? Let me move this out of the way. All right, my Dugases. We're going to end this stream soon, by the way. Okay, who's first? Punch. Sir Punch can kick well. The Nameless Princess. I'd buy that for $1. Can I have a... Oh, Sir Punchkin. Viv, you want to come up, baby? Come here, Viv. Oh, Bibbidi Babbis. Okay. Yeah, that was 3 dogs. What do y'all think? Is that good? 3 dogs, 3 dogs! It's real fun to have 3 dogs. If you've never had a dog, try having 3 dogs. Actually, don't. 3 dogs is way too many dogs, especially for this tiny apartment. Again, the 2... I've mentioned this before. Oh, Punch, he's kicking. What you doing, Punch? Punch can kick well. Oh, he's freaking out. Oh, this princess, she's so nice. She's a good dog, isn't she? Well, everybody, I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go. I really, I just want to reiterate, 2 of these dogs are not ours. The white dogs are not ours. I didn't get to play the video game I was going to play today, which is okay. A software update is required. Oh, the game I was going to play needed to download a software update anyway. We'll go ahead and I'll let you know what game it was. Do you want to know what game I was going to play? Do you want to know? Do you want to know what game I was going to play? It's downloading a software update. It has it's 50% remaining. 1 minute remaining, 55%. If you want to know, I'll show you. You don't want to know? Somebody run a poll. Can we run a poll? Can I run a poll here? Not Uncharted? No, Uncharted's on These dogs are barking. Only spend money's on mobile and drive. Hey, Only spend money, did you get a package for me? Just let me know in the chat. What is this? Try playing with detached Joy-Cons. It was a Nintendo Switch game. Is what I was gonna play. What is happening? I was gonna play a Nintendo Switch game. Oh my god, I really want them to stop. Leave me alone. Crikey. Holy lord, leave me alone. I haven't played this game in a while and there's like a million notifications popping up. I hate this. I despise this. I completely despise this. It's just popping like a million notifications. I should have capped all of those. I was gonna play Super Mario Odyssey because it's been, I realized it's been 5 years since Super Mario Odyssey came out. I was gonna give it a shot. Just don't, you know, Persona 5 came out, right? That's an old game that's got a remaster, and then Uncharted also came out on PC. Old game, Uncharted 4, old game got a remaster, and I thought my joke was going to be, what is Super Mario Odyssey? Why didn't Super Mario Odyssey also come out on PC? I was going to lead into it with the joke being like, we're going to play a game that was released to some critical acclaim several years ago. What game do you think it is? And you were all going to guess Persona 5 or Uncharted, and then I was going to say, oh, it's Super Mario Odyssey. I haven't played it in a while. The 27th? It was October 27th, right? October 27th, 2017. So when it came out, about 5 years ago. So, you know, I'm all red here. Call me Mr. Redman. Yeah, Persona 5 and Uncharted are both in my Steam shopping cart. However, I haven't purchased them because without a 4090, who cares, right? Hey, these dogs are yelling. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. We're gonna go ahead and, who wants to hear Marcus Phoenix Nice?
Nice.
And also,
Nice.
I don't know what that is. Lost Odyssey, Mario Odyssey. I actually like Mario Odyssey a lot. I never really properly streamed it, and I was willing to. Haven't played it in a while. So if you tuned in,
thank you.
And never forget.
My defenses are impregnable. My style is impetuous. I'm Alexander the Great.
I love it. Thank you.
All right, goodbye. Oh, these dogs are yelling. They're kicking.